What's up, everyone? Welcome back. The beta for Wolcen Lords of Mayhem has officially gone live. Yes, you heard that correctly. It is Thursday, March 28th, and we can all finally play the damn game. Yeah! We got a bit to get through here, but I'm gonna start it off with a question that popped up in Discord 200 million times yesterday. I mean, like, do people not know that you can scroll up in a chat window? I don't know, but this same question just kept popping up one right after the other, and that is, if I purchased the alpha, do I have to buy the game again to play the beta? No, you do not. Once you purchase the game, you own it forever and will have access to future updates and to the final release of the game. Now, what comes after that? Paid expansions, microtransactions. Your guess is as good as mine at this point because we have not heard anything about it yet. With the release of the beta, the price of the game has now gone up from $20 US to $30 US. And again, this is a one-time purchase that will grant you access to the entire beta and to the final release of the game whenever that is ready. All known bugs will be added to the Trello bug tracker. You can report bugs by using the Steam bug reporting forum or in Discord. Just check to see if they are not already reported on the Trello bug tracker first. You can also provide feedback on the Steam forums or in Discord. Wolcen has a special channel for this. They will use the Trello suggestion board to track suggestions, and you will be able to vote for your favorite ones there. As always, the links for all of those places can be found in the description of this video. Okay, so what can we all expect from the beta? Well, I almost forgot to put it in this video, but Callie, the community manager, teased us a little bit more in Discord with some screenshots of the new low life and dead indicators. Bloodstains now start to cover the edges of the screen, hopefully a much more helpful prompt of dying. The first shot was of low life, and this one is when you are down but not out. I believe I saw that a setting to change the intensity of this effect will not be in the initial release of the beta, but will come later. Maybe, I don't know on that one. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. General. It's a new game. There are too many changes to detail them all, so here's a basic rundown of the most important elements. Multiplayer is now implemented. You can create a party or join an existing one with up to 3 other players. You can now use the matchmaking to start a public game session with unknown players around the world. Wolcen Tag has been added. It gives you a unique tag separated from Steam to be added as a friend. Friend List has been added to allow party invitations and private messages. Friends are directly imported from your Steam friends list if they own the game. In-game chat added to allow communication between players of a same party in the game or to friends. The chat supports party and private messages. A direct news system has been added to broadcast important messages to live game sessions within the chat window. Camera rotation has been disabled, allowing Wolcen to create higher quality visuals, better readability, and improved performance. Housing, the arena, daily dungeons, character customization, including female, and leaderboards are now temporarily disabled. These features will come back at a later date, and yes, that means that we cannot play a female character right this second, but we will, so don't freak out. You can now select a starting archetype when creating a character. This will only give you a default weapon and starting skill, and will not force you to stick to particular gameplay during the rest of your progression. Visuals. Every aspect of the game's visuals have been remade from scratch with much higher quality standards. New rim shader on monsters and player to improve the readability in dark environments. Ragdoll physics have been improved. UI. Revamped main menu. The active skills window has been revamped to fit the new skills design. You can now filter skills from their weapon requirements in the active skill window. The character sheet UI has been reworked a bit to fit the new attributes design. Quests. The game now features the Soldier of Fortune mode. We'll get to that in just a couple of minutes. I'm sorry, I'm reading off of the website. So, technical. Very strong optimizations have been done. The game runs much more smoothly now. Audio. Many new sound effects have been added. A complete original soundtrack is being recorded for the game, from which several tracks can already be listened to. Each enemy type can now have a random voice variation. Sound specialization has been reworked. On-hit sounds, like skill impact sounds, are now correctly positioned in space. Final hit sounds are now mixed differently depending on the hit intensity. Enemies now have different impact sounds given their skin type, whether it be flesh, metal, etc., etc. Environment. The game now features completely new environments from the redefined world of Wolcen. Level design has been significantly improved and should provide a better player experience as well as increased replay value. New player hub. Stormfall's Palace District. Discover the upper ring of the Magistrous city-state of Stormfall, Jewel of the Sea, and I cannot believe I just slaughtered that word. Whatever, moving on. Gameplay. Soldier of Fortune mode. Players can now partake in bounty hunting activities across random areas from Act 1 of the game. Dashing Eugene will teach you the ropes with contracts of increasing difficulty for a balanced experience. After reaching level 15, talk to Alexander Ivakin. Whatever. He will give you access to harder dungeons where monster spawns are shuffled. You cannot go back to town in those missions, but killing the boss will give you the option to go further and increase your potential reward or return to Stormfall to collect it. Success will unlock even harder challenges, which increases the potential rewards. General changes. When your health reaches 0, your character will now go into a down but not out stance. In multiplayer, other players are able to revive you for a limited amount of time. If you are playing in single player, pressing space will use a second wind token and bring you back on your feet. You will only have a limited number of second wind tokens, so be careful. Health regeneration rate is now based on a frequency stored in the player characteristics. The defense mechanic has been removed. Mage and rogue armor pieces now provide force shield. Force shield acts as barrier that needs to be depleted before your health can be damaged. Once depleted, force shield will start recharging rapidly after not taking any hit for a few seconds. Character attributes have been revamped. Dodge rolling now operates with a fixed distance and direction. A very subtle hit lag has been added to most powerful attacks to increase the impact feeling. Shield block has been revamped and has now a chance to trigger a raw damage reduction on all hits regardless of the attack direction. Shields can now have either a damage resistance value or a force shield value as their main attribute. Resistance formula has been revamped in favor of a system that relies on a higher points pool. Weapon changes. Every weapon stance has a new reworked combo animation. You can now combine a melee weapon and a pistol for a hybrid melee range style. Holding shift will allow continuous fire of the pistol. You can now combine a pistol and shield to turn it into a shotgun style short range weapon. Crossbows have been removed as a weapon type. Staves attacks now always do baseline physical damage. Attack speed is not displayed in weapons tooltips as it is not used anymore. Allowed skill casting now depends on your weapon configuration. Mix and match weapon type to enable hybrid gameplay or focus on more classic archetypes. This next one's a little bit confusing, and I think there are a couple of typos, but new stances, animation, and game effects for one-handed melee, dual wielding, one-handed melee plus shield, allowing to use melee and tank skills, one-handed melee plus pistol, allowing to use melee and several ranged skills. Default attacks are melee, using both weapons. By default, press shift plus attack to perform ranged attacks with pistol. One-handed melee plus trinkets, allowing to use melee and mage spells. One-handed melee plus shield, allowing to use melee and tank spells. Two-handed sword, two-handed axe, two-handed hammers, bow, pistol, dual pistol, pistol plus shield, and staff. New damage types, divided in 3 families. Material. We have physical damage, toxic damage, which can inflict poison, dealing damage over time, and rend damage, which can inflict bleeding, dealing damage over time. Elemental. Fire, can inflict burning, dealing damage over time and burning nearby enemies. Frost can freeze enemies. Lightning can inflict shock, which zaps enemies that are also shocked. Whatever. Occult. Sacred damage can inflict weakness, which reduces enemy resistance and damage. Shadow can inflict shaded, which allows other element to spread. And Ether can inflict stasis, which slows all actions. New unique damage type visual effects for each weapon and shields, including weapon trails, projectile tracers, impacts, and criticals. Status elements changes. The effects of the weakness and frailty have been merged into a single element. Weakness increases damage taken and decreases inflicted damage by the afflicted entity and has a chance to be procced by sacred damage. Sorry, like I said, I'm reading off of this website, and some of this is a little... looks like it was put together pretty quickly for us. The effects of shock have been changed from an AoE on proc to a low damage over time effect that has a chance to trigger additional damage between all allies affected by shock. Burning now has a chance to burn enemies in a certain radius around the target. Potion changes. Consuming a potion now requires charges. Those charges are refilled by killing monsters. There is now only 2 potion slots. Using a potion is now a full active action. Monsters. A completely new roster of monsters now populate the world of the game, and almost each of them packs unique abilities. Fight against 3 factions with a completely distinct feel. The primal... I hate this word so much. Wolcen, you're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. The primal Sivriers, whatever they're called. The cruel Wildling Flayers, and the eerie Cult of the Sleeper. Monsters can now have a frozen status cooldown to avoid them being frozen permanently. And back when Wolcen released the Elemental Affixes video on their YouTube, I saw a few comments about the new ether damage. Why would I ever want to use it if all it does is apply stasis stacks that could eventually stun an enemy when I can just use frost and freeze them? Well, I guess that answers that right there, because it looks like monsters can be basically immune to freeze, or at least be frozen for just a second or two. And well, because running around with the same old element with the same old blue attacks gets boring after a while, and switching it up with a different element with different attack trails just looks and feels good, man. Anyways, new enemies. Demon of Souls, Devourer, Tainted Primordial Garden, Sivrir Alpha, and Sadistic Thug are all elite enemies with 5 or more skills. Spectre, Soul Spawn, Tormentor, Raised Martyr, Frost Tormentor, Tainted Primordial Armor, Beta Spawner, Beta Screecher, Beta Spitter, Staggerer, Sapper, and Kennel Master are all specialists and use 2 or more skills. And the Forsaken, Shadow Spawn, Abyssal Spawn, Nightmare, Anomaly, Deathcloak, Husk, plus several visual variants. Frozen Husk, plus several visual variants. Armored Husk, Misshaped Infected, Misshaped Sivrir, Misshaped Mangler, Omega Sivrir, Sivrirling, you're killing me. Bandit Dog, Warhound, Raider, and Archer will make up the trash. Items. All items have been revamped and most of them have new high-quality visuals. Left and right shoulder armors are now a single item that can be placed to both left and right slots like rings. The visual of the item will adapt to which side it is equipped in. The same change applies to arm armors. 28 unique items have been added, each with a unique combination of powers that can inspire different playstyles. You can now equip catalysts. These offhand caster items allow hybrid players to cast magical spells while wielding a melee or a pistol or whatever. Skill tomes have been replaced by interacts to fit the lore of the game. You can still right-click to learn their associated skill. Every piece of armor now gives 2 defense stats, 1 primary and 1 secondary. Heavy armors provide all resistance and health. Warrior armors, health and all resistance. Rogue armors will provide health and force shield. Mage armors provide force, shield, and health. And again, one is a major, one is a minor, so the first one will always be higher than the second one. Gems do not have item level requirements anymore. Affixes. Itemization has been remade and overhauled. A new set of effects can roll on items and their distribution has been improved. Gem sockets are generated in addition to item affixes instead of taking their places. Magic Find has been refactored to improve its impact on rare loot drops. Passive skills. The passive skill tree has been entirely remade. The first ring now holds 3 classes, the second 6, and the third will hold 12, for a total of 21 classes. The gameplay beta features the first 9 classes, so just the first 2 rings. You can now travel sideways between 2 classes of the same ring, starting at the second ring, so you will not be able to go sideways through the center or the first ring, which I don't know why you would want to anyways, unless there was just one specific node right at the top edge that you wanted to get or something, I don't know, but you can do that. Classes have been streamlined and navigating the trees should be easier. Active skills. The game now features a new selection of skills with a much higher quality standard in design, effects, and animation. Arrow's Wail, Havoc Orb, Anvil's Woe, Thunderstrike, Mark of Impurity, Slayer's Flurry, Consuming Embers, Tear of Ethlial, Arctic Spear, Winter's Grasp, Tracker's Reach, Bleeding Edge, Annihilation, Wings of Ishmir, Bulwark of Dawn, Stings of Crerion, Ether Jump, and Sovereign Shout. Each skill has 4 variants in the beta. Full game will feature 10 to 20 variants per skill. You can now select and activate any skill modifier provided you have enough points and that the modifier has been unlocked. Signature skills have been removed. There is now 5 skill slots available instead of 6. Miscellaneous. Every major passive node, skill, skill variant, and unique item now has a lore description, giving you insights into the world of Wolcen. Umbra as the resource is now called Willpower, and Umbra as the damage type is now called Ether. And that was the entire changelog for the beta release of Wolcen, Lords of Mayhem. Again, I was reading straight off of the website, so I do apologize for any confusion. Please feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions. All of my videos relating to the alpha version of the game or the alpha to beta transition have been removed in order to avoid even more confusion. Now that the beta has been released, though, you can expect to see tons of gameplay and build videos over the next few weeks, and of course, I will continue to cover the news updates as we get them. Nothing was mentioned about if the game will automatically update to the beta version or not, and I personally prefer a clean installation anyways, so I uninstalled the alpha last night and will just reinstall. So as soon as the beta is installed, it is game on, baby. And I know this one was pretty long, so if you managed to stick around for this long, then why not throw a thumbs up? Smash that subscribe button if you enjoy the content. Don't forget to ding that bell if you would like to be notified when new videos drop, and hopefully I will catch you all again next time.